नमो नम थोड़ा सा वॉल्यूम दो. नमो नमस्ते गुरवे महात्मने विमुक्तसंगाय सदुत्तमाय नित्याद्वयानन्दरसस्वरूपिणे भूम्ने सदा पारदाम्बुधाम्नि नमस्ते नमस्ते विभो विश्वमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते चिदानन्दमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते तपोयोगगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते श्रुतिज्ञानगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते तपोयोगगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते श्रुतिज्ञानगम्य. हरि ओम तत्सत्. जय गुरु. The topic was selected to relevance of Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita for everybody. But I don't think everybody here, those who have come, they are already exposed. Most of you are already exposed, and that our idea was that those who are not exposed, they have to be exposed. So the relevance of this title is not so much there, but still it is important also to know. Shall I start, or it's something more adjustment? See, about spirituality, although many of us are already given to it, while many of you are still working, but you are doing, but there is lot of misconception all over the world that it is meant for the sannyasis or recluses, renunciates, or for the retired people. That means we are not able to link the spiritual pursuit with our everyday pursuit. So there, I think many of you have already practiced and understood also, but still I think much more of clarity is needed, because the whole world is suffering for nothing. If they could have the benefit of the spiritual knowledge at a younger age, the whole world would have been a much better world, because it allows everybody to function much better in any field of activity. Perhaps the misconception about it is there because of its ancient origin, that Upanishadic Vidya was in vogue in our country for how many thousands of years we don't know. It is prehistoric. So if we say 10,000, 20,000, that doesn't mean much, because it is prehistoric that we know. I mean, the Shastras are coming down from that time. Later it was recorded. Earlier it was by heart. Now, those days generally this was available only to people who have renounced everything, who do not have much to do with the so-called active, interactive world. And it was based on a full one-pointed attention on the knowledge. So we call it Jnana Nishtha, or exclusive knowledge pursuit. That was the Upanishadic knowledge being used those days. That is why the Bhagavad Gita came up as a revolutionary presentation. It's very, very revolutionary presentation. Although at the end of each chapter Bhagavad Gita says that Upanishadsu, that means Bhagavad Gita is nothing but the Upanishad. Many of the shlokas are from Kathopanishad in Bhagavad Gita, with a little change sometimes. So Bhagavad Gita is a presentation, condensed presentation of basically of all the Upanishads and other scriptures also. But the presentation is absolutely different compared to the Upanishadic presentation. In Upanishadic presentation, because it was the basic pursuit, all of you may know, I am repeating, was Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, it is called. Shravana means you listen to the truth from the guru or teacher or so, or you can say when it was written down, you can read. Both are same. That is hearing about the truth from somebody else. That is, I am speaking, you are listening. Like that, in the Gurukula, teacher is speaking, the disciples are listening. That is the first stage. Then it is Manana, Shravana, then Manana. Manana means pondering over the truth, putting our mind on that. Generally what happens is that people listen to the truth, they go back and they don't think about it anymore. They get again busy with the worldly pursuit. So it really does not transform them. Again they would listen to the truth after 1 year or after some time and again forget. So it doesn't work as a transformation. But the whole purpose of the Upanishads is to transform our life. How will it transform our life? Transforming our mindset by changing our emotions, our mind, our thoughts, our intelligential function. Everything should undergo a transformation. And for that, this manana was very important. That you have listened to the truth, then go on introspecting over that. Introspecting means, suppose so many things are said, that the Atma is one everywhere, the whole world is manifest on the Atma. That means basically everything is Atma. Well, the Guru is saying that, or the Shastras are saying that, but I find everything is different, that is very real, so how can we link the two? We have a difficulty there. So these are all part of the manana. That means we have to think whatever we have read or listened to, and we have to introspect and find out where I am missing. Why am I not able to understand? Then further read the Shastras, or further inquiry should be there from the Guru. That where is the difference? When will it become so? Or are we supposed to see that the whole world has become one? Then how can we function? I will not know that this is my food and this is not my food. No difference will be seen. Is it so? It is not so. So the clarity is needed. Then what does it mean that everything is Atman or Brahman? So this manana would go on till we become intelligentially, absolutely confirmed that what the Shastras are saying, what the Guru is saying is correct. That is, rationally, when we, in our Shastras, is extreme rational. It goes beyond the usual objective rationality we study in science. Because in science, the basic assumption is we will go into the objective, in the objectude, in the objective world, and analyze that world, but we will accept that we are the subject who is looking at the world. And we never inquire about the subject. In science, in natural science, in Western science, we have never inquired about the actual, who is the witness, who is the observer of the world. Our rishis, they found that unless we know who am I, who is my real identity, who is the real witness or observer, then how can I come to a conclusion about the world? And they started inquiring within that who am I. That was the part of our inquiry. Now, the whole subject is extremely rational, so that logically where we get stuck, suppose in the causality analysis, the whole creation is based on causality. Is it not? Our science is operating only because of causality. That if you push the book, it moves. If you don't push, it doesn't move. If you burn the book, it gets into ashes. Everything is cause and effect. The cause is becoming the effect, the cause is dying, and the effect is born. In our body also, every moment, thousands of cells are dying and thousands of new cells are getting born. So although overall we think that I am the same person, it is not so. Every moment we are getting regenerated, only we are not aware of it, we are not focusing on that. So this causality is the fundamental basis of the world. But if you analyze really the causal chain, what will you get? Suppose you say that B is the cause of A, we have determined. Naturally the question will be, then what has caused B? Well, C is the cause of B. Then the question will be, what has caused C? Like that you can go to any extent. Suppose when we say that the God has created the world, the normal enquiry should be, then who has created God? Because God is the cause of the world, then who is the cause of God? This is the normal logical enquiry. Now our people thought about it, and they found that however much we can go, it is very simple, anybody can understand any time, but we don't take it to that extent, there we fail. Otherwise everybody can understand. Suppose we find that last up to the Y we have gone, that the Z is the cause of Y. Now naturally the question will be, then what is the cause of Z? So they understood that this logical causal chain, it will never end. In our Shastras we call it anavastha dosha of the logic, this kind of causal logic. The fault is, the defect is anavastha, that means it cannot start from a stable ground. In science we call it infinite regression. Infinite regression means as far back you go, again the question will never end, that who is the cause of the last one. So the normal conclusion should be that if there is any absolute level, absolute truth beyond the existence of the world, then it has to be beyond causality. You get it? Our rationality goes to that extent, that if at all there is any absolute truth underlying this creation, it has to be beyond causality. Because if you find out some, say, Big Bang or whatever, you find out something as the cause of the universe, it doesn't end, the inquiry doesn't end. What is the cause of that? What was there before? So when we say it is beyond causality, automatically it means that it is beyond time also. Why? Because time and causality are related. Whatever is preceding in time, we call it past. What is cause? Whatever is succeeding in time, we call it effect. So when we say that it has to be beyond causality, that means it has to be beyond time also. So they understood that this causal chain is never going to give us the ultimate truth. If at all there is any absolute truth or ultimate truth, it has to be beyond causality. So with these introspections, what did they do? Finally they understood that the whole world is running by causality and the whole creation is changeful. Without change there cannot be any creation. Even as minute particle to get created, it means a change. It is taking birth, it is undergoing change, then it will get destroyed. So without change there cannot be any creation at all. Change is the fundamental basis of creation. So if there is any absolute truth, that means which is unchanging, imperishable, then it cannot be found anywhere in the objective world. This we should understand very clearly. We say immortality, amaratva and all. You won't find anything immortal, imperishable in the visible world. It cannot be, because the whole creation is out of a cause and effect change, birth and progression and death. So they understood in the rudimentary manner that initially that I am the witness of the whole universe. What is that I? Is it also undergoing change or not? This enquiry comes very well in Shvetashvatara Upanishad, which is considered to be a later Upanishad. Right in the beginning, that the students of Brahma Vidya, they are discussing that where from this world has come, what is the reason that it has come, where from did we come and when did we come, all these analysis they are doing. And they initially thought that the I, the witness of everything, who is seeing, the I is the witness of our body, mind, emotion, everything. The body is undergoing change, The emotions are undergoing change. Yesterday it was even 1 hour back it was one kind of emotion. Now it is different. Even the intelligence is undergoing change. One day it is sharp, one day it is not sharp. So all these changes are seen by me. Unless I remain unchanged, we will not know the changes in that. Suppose in the clock, if the arms, along with the arms, the dial also start moving, will you understand the progression of time from there? It has to be against a stable background. Because that I observer in us is not undergoing any change, it is able to know that I was born small, then I went to school, and all these changes have been taking place in the body. Similarly, my mind was impure, it has become pure, or it was pure, it has become impure. All these changes we are observing of the mind, intelligence, emotion, all these changes we are knowing because the I witness is not undergoing any change. So up to these people, the students of Brahma Vidya in Shvetashvatara Upanishad, they discussed. But then they came to a point that if I say that this I is unchanging, how can we accept it? The Guru is saying that you are the Brahman, you are whatever is your real identity, that is the imperishable Brahman. That itself is what we mean by God. How can we accept it? Because we find that we are becoming sorry, we are becoming happy, we are overpowered by the world, we are suffering. All these things, the I is undergoing these changes. Then how can I call the I to be superior, unchanging, imperishable? Then the shloka comes, the te dhyana yoganugata apashyan. See, the language, you have to be very particular about the language because they mean a lot. Te dhyana yoganugata apashyan. Apashyan means they saw. That means it is an experimental record. It's not a philosophy. That they did dhyana yoga and they saw, they found. It's a record of their experiment. That is the language. Now this dhyana yoganugata apashyan, that means they took to meditation to discover who am I, what is my real identity then. If this I am thinking I am always weak, I don't have the power to overcome whatever is coming from the world, I am always a slave to the world. Is that the real I? Or that real witness I is different from it? How will I know? So they then started looking within. This is available in so many shlokas in the Upanishads. We can go on saying, but one or two I thought that this one is very apt, very appropriate here. So to find out, te dhyana yoga anugata. Anugata means following dhyana yoga, they found. Now this dhyana yoga want to be understood well. It is not just dhyana. They meant dhyana yoga. That means dhyana is a process, meditation is a process by which, what is the aim? Yoga is the aim. What is the yoga? Yoga means fusion, means combining. Fusion of what? The ultimate aim of yoga is the fusion of our, that is dissolution of our small egoistic personality in the real universal I. That is we call yoga. The real yoga is that. To attain that, we are starting with some asana, pranayama and all that to make the body fit. Then we are starting with so-called dhyana, niyama, yama, everything. To make the mind to keep the mind our own control, so that the mind can be stopped, or whatever we want to do with it, we should be able to do. So that dhyana is aimed to attain the yoga. What is the yoga? Where we find finally that the concept of our own personality we have formed from childhood, that I am this person, I am that person, I have studied this, I am working here, working there, I am good, the other person is bad. So many things that I as a separate entity in creation, I have been thinking that this is what I am. But if you think well, you will find that I, the personality we have imagined about ourselves, consists of the body, mind, emotion, intelligence. These are the qualities. They are not that I. intelligential personality. So we have to disassociate the I from all these coordinates, all these personality characteristics to find out who am I really. So then we find that this small I, when we disassociate it from the fragmented all characteristics, that smallness of it goes. We get completely dissolved in what we call Atma, Brahman or whatever. So that is why it is called yoga. The small, constricted, egoistic personality getting merged in the universal truth, which we call God. You can call God, you can call Brahman, you can call Atma, anything. In Bhagavatam there is a very good shloka. Vadanti tat tattvavidaha tattvam yajnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. In Bhagavatam, devotional text. Vadanti tat tattvavidam. Those who know the truth, tattvavid, they say, what do they say? Tattvam yajnanam advayam. That ultimate truth is the advaya jnana. See, as I explain one after another, I will lose my trail there, but what is that advaya jnana? Means in English we call it non-dual knowledge. That is the truth. Non-dual knowledge is the truth. Who say? See, it is the greatest devotional text on Krishna basically. That in the beginning itself in a chapter it is saying that Vadanti tat tattvavidaha tattvam jnanam advayam. Advaya jnana is the ultimate truth, the knowers of truth, they say. Now what is it? Brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. The same thing, this advaya knowledge, which is the truth, it is referred to as Brahman in our Vedantic philosophy. In Vedanta, it is referred to as Brahman. Paramatma, for the spiritual sadhaks, experiential, the Paramatma, it is referred to as Paramatma, the Supreme Soul, the Supreme Identity we have. And Bhagavan, God, in religion, that itself is referred to as God. So, whether it is, we call it God, Paramatma, Brahman, it is all same as the non-dual knowledge. Now what is that non-dual knowledge? We have to understand. That normal knowledge, all our knowledges are I am the knower, I am knowing. Suppose now we are discussing Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is a knowledge. I am knowing Bhagavad Gita. So there is a knower and there is a knowledge and there is a knowing process. So always there is a duality. Generally in all our objective field, everything, I am the knower, I am knowing something different from me. Object means I am the subject, I am knowing whatever is revealed in front, that is a object. Now this is normal dual knowledge. Dual means it is I knower and the knowledge, they are different. Everywhere I am seeing as a seer and the seen object are different from me. I am listening to something, I am the listener, the listened sound is different from me. So everywhere the duality is there. When we look within, what these people, these sadhaks, they refer to as dhyana yoga anugata apashyan. What did they saw? That at one point the duality goes. There the subject-object duality is not there. That is the subject who was revealing the whole world. When the whole world is forgotten, when I say the whole world is forgotten means my personality, small personality is also forgotten. It is part of the world, we should not forget. My body-mind personality, it is a creation of nature. So that is part of the world. When we forget the whole world, we forget our egoistic personality, our small body identity also. When that is forgotten, then many things happen. We find that a bliss originating from within, that the real bliss or ananda, it is not outside, it is from within, it is always coming. But We are not able to know it because we have created the hindrance by not knowing our identity, making ourselves small. So, Advaya Jnana is the non-dual knowledge, it is called, because at that point the subject-object duality is not there. Another name in our Shastras is Aparoksha knowledge, Aparoksha Jnana. Generally in science and all, we have two kinds of knowledge. One is Pratyaksha, another is Paroksha. Pratyaksha means directly perceived by the sense organs. That is called Pratyaksha. Paroksha means inferred knowledge. Most of the knowledge in science is Paroksha, it is not Pratyaksha. It is based on Pratyaksha, but we are inferring from that. All electron, proton or Schrodinger wave or so, they are all inference. They are based on Pratyaksha. We are finding certain things happening in the world. Then we apply our mind and intelligence and go over to find out what is the ultimate building block or particle, if at all there is particle. And we come with a concept of a elementary particle also. So it is all Paroksha. Normally everything is Paroksha except whatever we are seeing with our eyes and all. But they don't have anything like Aparoksha. In our spiritual science, this Aparoksha became the main pillar of knowledge, the fundamental knowledge, because this was the greatest discovery our scientists, our subjective scientists, our rishis made. What is that? The discovery of our real identity, the discovery of the Atma, as we say. And the Atma is nothing different from Paramatma or Brahman. That unification of that identity. We can call it one, but it is not one. Because when you are knowing something as one, then also subject-object difference is there. I am knowing that monism is called one God. That means I am describing God as something different from me. The difference is still there. So when we say one, there is still duality is there. I am saying it is one. But this non-dual knowledge is not one. It is transcendental because this duality is not there. You cannot describe it by any term, any thought of our mind. We try to go near it, but it cannot be described because the mind is within the ken of duality. Anyway, if you feel that this is too difficult philosophy, it is not difficult. People refuse to accept it because there is a resistance in accepting the truth. It is not at all difficult if you go by this rational logic. It is very simple and it is a straightforward logic. You cannot deny it also. So, what did they say? I went over to Bhagavatam, that itself is called Brahman in Vedanta, Paramatma by the spiritualists, and Bhagavan by the religions. That itself is this Advaya knowledge. To explain the Advaya knowledge, I told all these things. Now, what these Brahmavidya, the students, they did, te dhyana yoga anuvata apashyan. They took to dhyana yoga. Why? Because to discover the real I, who am I, it is not within the rational level. We have to go beyond the logical analysis to go to the ultimate level, as I have explained right in the beginning. Logic will not give you the ultimate, it can only come to a certain point. Logic means the dual causal logic. The ultimate truth, if at all it is there, it is beyond that duality. So naturally, you have to take to the Guru's instruction, doing meditation to get into that. Now, what did they see? Apashyan, what did they see? Devatma Shaktim Swagunair Nigudham. Nigudhaha and Nigudham. Huh? Ma is the Ram. What did they see? It is Dvitiya. Apashyan, what did they see? Devatma Shaktim Swagunair Nigudham. He says they saw this beautiful, these Upanishads in one word, they explain everything. Lifetime we can spend on explaining this. This one word, Devatma Shaktim. It is made of, it's a conjugation of three. Deva, Atma and Shakti. Deva has come from Div Dhatu. Deva means brilliance. Now when we say brilliance, we think that this is brilliance, the light. Or if you go further, the sun is the source brilliance. Sun is very brilliant. But without our consciousness, will we know the sun? Will the sun be revealed? Even if you don't have eyes, the sun will not be revealed. Is it not? Even if you have eyes, who is revealing the vision finally? Is it not our consciousness? When you are sleeping, you don't know the sun. So it is our awareness, our consciousness, which is revealing all other brilliance. So the ultimate brilliance, which is revealing everything, is called Deva. Our gods and goddesses are called Deva because they are considered to be some of the fundamental powers of nature. But the real Deva is our own Atma, who is revealing everything, revealing the inner mind, emotion, intelligence, and outer world of all the infinite variety of the world is revealed by the Atma. So that is the Deva. Then comes the Atma. That means, what am I referring to as I? Atma in our Shastras is defined as Aham Pratyaya Gocharaha, which we know by the I am, that amness. Are you knowing that I by any of your sense organs? Sense organs will not be able to reveal. Are you knowing the I by applying any other mind or intelligence? Suppose you apply your intelligence to deduct that yes, I am. Can you? If I prove that you are not, will you accept? Suppose by logic I am proving that you are not. Are you going to accept it? No, I am not. If you say I am not, that means you are already there. So it is a pratyaksha, it is a direct conviction that I am. Similarly, mind. You cannot do all sorts of things to prove that I have a mind. You know that you have a mind. It's not through the sense organs that you know. So, this Atma is the Aham Pratyaya, that I am, that is where from it is coming. Normally we are thinking that I am this body-mind personality, that is the I, who is revealing everything. But that is not, we have already analyzed. So they discovered who is that real I, what is that real Atma, and Shakti. Now, Devatma Shaktim, when they say that these three are actually not different, that is the revealer of everything, revealer of the external world, revealer of the internal world, that ultimate revealer. Then what I am referring to as I throughout my life, I did not knowing what is that real dimension of the I, what is the real dimension of that I. And Shakti, whatever the infinite, unimaginable power of the play of Shakti, of energy we are seeing in this universe. We cannot imagine the kind of energy operating in the galaxies. They are getting born, they are getting destroyed, they are sucked into the black hole. Whatever all things are happening, they are all the power of, that is called the Shakti. Now all this Shakti is right, it's an appearance on the consciousness itself. So by one process of dhyana, when they attained the yoga, they discovered that this Deva, Atma and Shakti, they are not different. And they discovered that. So the Upanishad is saying, Apashyan, they saw. They saw means not with the eyes, they discovered. They discovered Devatma Shaktim, that what I am referring to as I, not knowing the real dimension, in its real dimension it is the same as the revealer of the whole world, which we call Brahman or Paramatma or Atman, anything. And that itself is the substratum of the whole universe. The universe is appearing in that consciousness. It is a substratum of that. Then why are we not knowing it? Swagunair nigudha. That it is hidden by its own play. That in the consciousness, whatever it is manifest, we are manifest as body-mind personalities, we are functioning in this world. That is called Triguna effect. That is with the power of this, let us say, energy effect. That itself is hiding the real truth. So when we are getting born as a small, fragmented personality, by itself we have fallen apart from our real identity. Or say our real identity is covered by the usual existence we are having until we discover this truth going within. It is hidden by its own creation, the world, and it will remain hidden until we discover this truth. Why did I say all these things? Where did I start from when I started saying this? But Shvetashvatara I came by.
Talk about the non-dual principle.
And that later I came.
What is they saw in the meditation? How the mind is.
No, before that. Huh? No, before that.
So you're talking about the difference between Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita.
That is it. So, you have to remind me immediately. See, so this is a method. I said Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. We started from there. That is the Upanishadic method of, or Upanishadic pursuit to discover this truth. Now you can easily understand that it is not meant for all, because we are involved in various activities, so our mind will never be able to get into that kind of a dhyana yoga easily. Most of the people who do meditation, the complaint is that the mind goes here and there, I am not able to meditate. Even if they can meditate, they often get lost that Swamiji, I did meditation, thoughts were not there, but then what? Now if the thoughts are not there, and you say then what, means then it is not. You should understand that if the meditation's aim is to discover that Devatma Shaktim, so you will never ask the question again to your Guru also, that then what? This itself is such a revolutionary revelation and discovery that you will never be dislodged from there. So, I wanted to say that this was the Upanishadic pursuit, and to pursue that one has to be fit for that pursuit. So this Kevala Jnana Nishtha, what is the Upanishadic pursuit, generally people will not be fit for that, because their mind is still entangled with the world, entangled with various likes and dislikes, raga dvesha. We still enjoy in blaming others, speaking ill of others, backbiting and whatnot, and always doing selfish things, engrossed in selfish thoughts. These are all constricting our mind. They all make our mind small. So until the mind becomes liberal, becomes very widespread like the space, this kind of meditation is generally not possible. You may have it with the help of the Guru once in a way or so, but you will not be able to have it on your own. It's generally very difficult. Even if you have it, you will not be able to hold its effect, which needs lot of introspection to understand what has happened in meditation and to hold it, to remain there, to remain anchored there, is not easy, and generally people will not be able to, they are not deserving it or fit for it. That is why in Bhagavad Gita we find repeatedly that Arjuna is saying that, Krishna, you are saying that this Sankhya Yoga, that exclusive knowledge pursuit, is the highest thing. And whenever I am wanting to take to it, why are you putting me into Ghora Karma? The Karma means it's a war, fighting a war. It's not like you are going to the office, speaking to the boss or employees, or in family life. There also you are often tired. That the most complaint is that, how can I meditate in this so much of disturbance? Can you imagine the kind of disturbance in war? So Bhagavad Gita came out with a revolutionary presentation which will be applicable, the pursuit will be applicable to one and everyone working in any field of activity. His Bhagavad Gita is not asking us to come away from activity. That is why it has been presented in a war framework, war backdrop. And where repeatedly Krishna is telling Tasmad Yuddhasva Bharata, Tasmad Yuddhasva Bharata. All the truth he explains and then says, therefore you fight. He doesn't say that therefore you withdraw and go to the forest and do meditation. We should be very attentive to these things. So it is an interactive sadhana that has been prescribed in Bhagavad Gita. And what is the great prescription there? In Upanishadic sadhana, we come away from all the activities to remain focused, completely given to the knowledge. That studying the Shastras, thinking on it, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana comes after Manana is completed. That I started that also. That Manana means where you have done enough of introspection and you have understood that what Guru is saying is the truth. But I don't have the first-hand experience of it. So then there is no further non-acceptance. You have accepted that yes, rationally you have understood what my teacher has said, what the Shastras are saying, that is the ultimate. But I have to experience it because it's a truth about my own self. As long as it is a hired knowledge, second-hand knowledge, benefit is not there. It has to become my first-hand experience. This discovery is not like scientific discovery that somebody discovered the microphone and we are all using the microphone. Here the discovery is about our own identity. And until I discover myself in first-hand, that who am I, that discovery will not have the effect. It's a knowledge to be lived. So, naturally, Bhagavad Gita was presented in a manner that you don't have to withdraw from the activity. That Krishna said, I want only to change your mindset. That whatever activity you are pursuing, I am not asking you to come away from that. You pursue the same activity but with a transformed mindset, changed mindset. What is that? In Bhagavad Gita it was Arjuna said that we are fighting the war yat rajya sukha lobhena, for the greed to enjoy the comfort of kingship. Rajya sukha lobhena hantam swajanamudyata ahovat mahat papam. He says we are out to commit a great sin. Yes, it is a sin when you are fighting with whom? My most beloved grandfather and the most respected teacher we are going to kill. I am fighting them to win over the kingdom and have the rulership and the comfort of kingship. Kingship is never a comfort for a good king, but he was deluded, so he can accept it. Whereas he says that this is a selfish aim that is working in your mind. So if you fight the war with that kind of a constricted mindset, then you will suffer from all the sinfulness and various other things. Suppose something goes unfavorable in the war, you will become depressed. If something is favorable, you will become elated. So you will be under the sway of sukha dukkha, as generally in the world people are. So he said that I would like you to change your mindset, that you will not do looking at the gain out of whatever you are doing. There should not be any selfish motivation at all. I want you to fight the war for the welfare of the world, because the kings have become corrupt, the world is being ruled by corrupt kings. I want to set up a righteous kingship, righteous kingdom on this earth. And you being a Kshatriya, I am asking you to fight the war and establish that righteous kingdom. In that process you may die. You may not have the comfort of kingship at all. Before that you may die. You may lose the war also. But the fact is that being a Kshatriya, this is your power, capability and your life. To try to always, for the Loka Mangala, for the welfare of the people, to always establish a righteous kingship, righteous rule on earth. That is why we want you to fight. So is it not a complete change of mindset? Now if Arjuna now fights this war with no idea of a selfish gain, and he is ready to sacrifice his life for that also, with a universal and a very vast aim for the people, for the welfare of nature, welfare of the society. So fighting that war itself, his mind will expand. The mind was constricted. Fighting the war with this mindset, every time the mind will expand. He was thinking that he is fighting to punish Duryodhana or to kill Duryodhana. So there is a hatred towards Duryodhana in his mind. And that hatred was making him take up the activity of war. Krishna changed it that you have to kill Duryodhana, all right, but without any hatred. Because it needs to be, he needs to be killed, you are going to kill. If you or anybody else. You are going to kill your own most beloved grandfather, who is not a bad person also, who is a great sort of a Maharshi. You are going to kill him because he is standing on the opposite side. And without killing him, you cannot win the war. So, when you are able to kill your most beloved grandfather, whom you love so much, then you will be able to, the other side of the coin is you will be able to kill Duryodhana also without hatred. Are you able to understand? If I have to kill my father, can you usually do it? What kind of impersonality is necessary? Just, I always give the example, in the Nakshal period we were studying at that time in post-graduation. So one police officer, he was inspector I think at that time, he went with his team to chase one Naxalite group. And mostly they are the students, and they were very good students mostly from Presidency College, University, etc. They were becoming. So when they were face to face with the team, with all their arms and all, he noticed that his son is leading the Naxalite team. They are about to open fire or do something about to go. That is the time he discovered that my son, he did not know, they have gone to study. He was studying either in the university or in IIT Kharagpur, I don't remember now. So, immediately what he did, he was a very good inspector. So, he did not do anything to somehow make his son free and fight others and kill others. He told his next senior person that, see, my son is there, so it will be very difficult. I won't be able to fight against them or arrest them. You do whatever you feel like, I am going. He left the scene because he was not able to bear it. Now think of Arjuna's condition, that Arjuna has to discharge the arrows to his own most beloved grandfather. Is it easy? What kind of a level of impersonality is necessary? If he can attain that kind of an impersonality, then will he not be able to meditate also easily? Nothing in the world will disturb him. Am I clear? Or nothing in the world will disturb such a person. So this is exactly what Krishna promised, that we will change, that we want the mindset to be changed, so that the activities which are causing you the disturbance, which is keeping you away from the ultimate goal, those activities will become an instrument to take you to liberation. Am I clear? The activities which are now considered as hindrance, your change of the mindset will make those activities instrument leading to the ultimate goal which the Upanishads promise. He repeatedly says the goal is the same. The Upanishads goal and whatever Buddhi Yoga I am suggesting, both goals are same. And it is only to change your mindset, understanding where you have to expand your mind, where you have to imbibe the impersonality, impartiality and liberality. Doing that, you will attain the same goal as the Upanishads are attaining through Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. At least you will attain the purity and the stability of the mind in such a degree that you can then easily take to Manana and Nididhyasana also. And if it is necessary for your pursuit, at that time you will become fit to pursue it. Now you are not fit. So the whole Bhagavad Gita presentation is such that this Upanishadic pursuit, which was reserved for a few persons only, the renunciates and those who do not have any disturbance from the world, that pursuit was made equally available to everybody working in any field of interest, field of activity, provided they agree to change their mindset. By this Buddhi Yoga, what Bhagavad Gita said, Samatva, surrender, Yajna Bhavana. There are so many, 6 methods have been clearly delineated. So by that we don't have to change our activity, but the activity which is now binding us, causing more and more bondage, that same activity pursued with this new mindset will take you to the ultimate goal or liberation. Is it not a great revolutionary presentation? That is why the Yajna concept in Bhagavad Gita also is another revolutionary presentation, because in Vedic literature, Yajna is to be done for a certain desireful aim. Say Ashwamedha Yaga or Putra Kameshti Yaga. Yasirata did to get children, Putra Kameshti, Ashwamedha to get kingdom, emperorship. Like that, it is always done with an idea of gaining something, which is a selfish gain. So it is a desireful act. Yajna is generally a desireful act, which will fulfill your desires. For that people are doing. Kathopanishad is very clear and accurate presentation is there. The Nachiketa's father, he was desireful of heaven, and that is why he was performing the Vishwayajna. So it is out of desire we perform. Whereas in Bhagavad Gita, the whole Yajna concept is just the reverse. He says, whatever you do, you do. You don't have to do the Havana or light fire and offer sacrifice to the fire. Nothing you have to do. Whatever you are doing, you do it as an offering to the universal Lord. You do it without any desire. Just the opposite of Veda. That Vedas, you do the offering with desire. Here you do whatever you are doing. You don't have to do any special worship or yaga or anything, any activity. Activity performed without desire becomes yajna. And that will lead you to the same thing. All these actually mean the same. Without desire means what? Whatever I have spoken of about Arjuna, it is also that. Because desire is constricting our mind. If you remove the desire, you do, then it is taking you towards liberation. Now, in that case, if you leave activity for Arjuna as well as for us also, if we leave activity and go away and try to do the exclusive jnana nishta, that is Shravana Manana Vidhyasana or only meditation, we will neither be able to be successful in doing the meditation because our mind will be still roaming around. On the other hand, we will lose the opportunity to purify the mind through the activity. This is a very, very important point. We should go on thinking and absorb it. That the activities, whatever activities we are doing, it is an opportunity to purify our mind. So whenever we are facing a struggle, a difficulty in our world, immediately we want to recoil, we want to avoid that. Not doing that, the Bhagavad Gita instruction is consider it as an opportunity to go take your mind to a higher dimension. Suppose you are not able to love your enemy. It's a restriction, it's a constriction of the mind that you are becoming partial about somebody, you don't want to see his face at all. It can be with boss, employee or family people, anything. The moment you see the person, your mind gets withdrawn and you want to hate, you want to avoid. Now it is a constriction of the mind. To get over it, what do you have to do? Somehow you have to love that person, hug that person, say appreciate some of his qualities, good qualities and all. Somehow you get over the hatred created in your mind. That is, some places we are clinging to what we like and some places we are intolerant about or hating what we dislike. Both are constricting our mind equally. Clinging to what I like is also, we are selfish in that, we are becoming small. So if we can get over the clinging to what we like and hating what we dislike, we are promoted to that. So it is inactivity. If you are not going to the office, you are not interacting with people, how will you know that you have this preference and prejudice? That you are finding some personalities difficult to deal with. You are developing some enmity about somebody. You are developing some intolerance about somebody. In the ashram also it is happening. The co-disciples can develop intolerance about each other. Now they should know that the sadhana is to go beyond that intolerance and go to the higher dimension where that intolerance will be overcome, win over. So all activities throughout our life will become a scope, an opportunity to get over our constricted nature, to get over our partiality, clinging to what we like and hating what we dislike. That is the pursuit of Bhagavad Gita, by which it becomes for everybody. So, as spirituality or spiritual knowledge, that will help everybody, no doubt about it, because the knowledge is the same. Whether you do it by Shravana Manana Nididhyasana or you go to this purificatory process through the activity and Buddhi Yoga it is called, I am not going into the detail. Whatever you do, finally what is happening? What is the ultimate result? Your mind is expanding. Your mind is getting rid of all the constricted, egoistic forces. So whether you do by constantly meditating on Atma, which is universal, all pervading, or you do by overcoming small constrictions of your mind in our daily activity, you are taken to the same point where your mind becomes universal. There, by calling the Atma universal, one, Brahman, there is nothing is going to help. You have to know that has to happen to me. We have to become universal in our outlook. Atma is what is my I. So we can remain anchored in that I in spite of all the activity by pursuing the Bhagavad Gita yoga. So is it not meant for everybody? Because whatever they are doing will become so joyous. The activity, the particular activity becomes meaningless. That meaningless means it has no way. Whatever the activity, even if it is killing in the war, that became the greatest opportunity for Arjuna to grow. So anybody working in any field of activity can make that their sadhana. And what is the result? It is the blissful aim of becoming universal. And every step of this journey will become so much joyful, delightful, that you will never worry about the goal also. That the goal is to become Brahman and all. You don't have to. Every moment you are expanding. Spirituality means this expansion. It is a becoming. Not at the end of the path, one day the goal will be shining there. No. Every moment we are becoming more and closer to the Atma, becoming more and more like the universal Atma, the one Atma. And you become more and more fulfilled. This is the sadhana meant for everybody. It is 7:45. If you have questions I can deal with, otherwise I will go through the slides. That will consolidate perhaps. Can you show the next slide? See, you read this, as the knowledge of physics, chemistry or mathematics does not depend on one's national, ethnic or religious identity, so too is the knowledge of our real identity as revealed in the Upanishads. This is a very, very great statement. You should think about it. See, in studying physics, chemistry, we don't say that, the physics was discovered by somebody Christian, so I am Hindu, I should not study physics. Or mathematics is described by somebody Muslim, so I don't study mathematics. It's not like that. Everywhere, whether it in science, whatever the science is, it is general for everybody. The ethnic connection or the religious boundary, it doesn't come there. Exactly like that, we call it Hindu, religious. It is not religious. The entire spirituality is experiential. As we know the truth of the world, behavior of the particles, here we know the truth, the ultimate truth of our being, who we are. And that I is same for everybody on earth, that it is not different from each person, because Atma is not individually located. Atma is the whole consciousness in which the whole universe is appearing to be, of which we are all minute specks of bodies, body-mind personalities. So we should understand that this revelation of ritualistic portion, yaga, yajna, etc., goes over to mantra, etc. Then finally it is called Veda Shira, that means the head of the Vedas or the last of the Veda. That is why it is called Vedanta. Anta means the end of the Vedas. Anta means the end. That is there. Reveal all these things. So, Upanishads are the last part of the Vedas, and it is the highest knowledge enshrined in the Vedas. Although they part of the Vedas, in going to this last part, you will find they criticize the ritualistic part of the Vedas. It's not that the ritualistic part is wrong, but once people get caught up in the rituals, they find it very difficult to get over that, outlive that. The whole process of spirituality is living and outliving everywhere. We are supposed to learn the dharma. With that dharma we are supposed to earn money. With that money we are supposed to fulfill our desires, kama, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That is, our artha earning should not be flouting the dharma which we have learned first. Everything is based on dharma. They are not segregated. Learning the other day I said it is the law of sustenance of the universe. Dharma means that. Law of sustenance of human beings, law of sustenance of nature. Learning that we should earn money which will not go against nature also, which we flout now in every way. Then earning money we should fulfill our desires, again based on dharma. We should not do anything which goes against dharma. In fulfilling our desires, we can take others' money, usurp others' money. No, that is against dharma. So remaining on dharma we fulfill our desires. And when all these are done, then we outlive the desires and take to moksha also. That the liberation part. This is a normal step-by-step process for general people. But for special cases, they say that yad ahareva virajet, tad ahareva prabhrajet. It is from Java Upanishad. Yat aha eva virajet. Raja means activity. Rajaguna means it is activity. Desire also you can say. Virajet means that day you become free of the desireful activities, motivation. Tat aha eva, that day itself, prabhrajet, you leave the world and walk off. Leave the world, no, you cannot leave the world, but you leave your worldly activities and take to this pursuit. Because this is Upanishadic pursuit, as I said, it was meant for the renunciates those days. Now, with the Bhagavad Gita, you can do it when you are active in the world. Right from childhood, we can pursue it. So, they are the loftiest revelations enshrined in the Vedas. They are not theories or anything. Whatever truth occurred in their mind, they have. That is why we don't say the Upanishads are composed by anybody. It's a revelation. Revelation means the truth dawns in their mind and they express through the mantras of the Upanishads. They are not a philosophy, but record of discoveries made by rishis. Whatever the truth they discovered, they have recorded, and those are the Upanishads. So just like experimental physics, that whatever you are getting as an experimental result, according to that you are putting the theory. When you found that the experimental results are violating the theory, suppose Newton's theory, Newton's mechanics, the experimental results are violating Newtonian mechanics. So you change that into relativistic mechanics. Then somebody comes and gives a new theory. Then you find in some other place, in the small particle place, that also is not followed. Then you have that quantum relativistic mechanics. You understand? In the whole science grows like that. Experiment is the basis. And wherever we are finding some experimental results and not following the theory, we have to change the theory. And this progression goes on like that. Here also it is, they are not a philosophy but record of discoveries made by rishis. They deal with the knowledge of our real If tomorrow you don't come and another set of new people come, I cannot do anything. That is my fate. I will take to it. Any question? I have been able to put you in sleep. Yantika Sukha and all that. Is another language of Bhagavad Gita. Prasada means a placidity of the mind. That will be there both in Sukha and Dukkha. Can you show that C and all, which is a few. The next one you show? See, we have used actual picture. Is it visible from there? And also a funny diagram to give the impression what we are trying to show. See, here the focus is on the waves of the sea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we marked particularly to give you the idea of what is this. You see the 2, number 2 is a very small wave, absolutely insignificant. Here also number 2, you see it's almost invisible. Whereas number 5, it's a huge breaker wave, which is wanting to devour everything. So you can say 2 is suffering from inferiority complex and 5 is too egoistic and he always overpowers everything. But all these things are happening with their wave identity. That is the 5 things that I am 5, I am a big wave. 2 thinks that I am a small wave, I cannot do anything, I am very weak, I cannot do anything. 4 thinks that, oh, I am a quite stable person, I can look after this and that something. That is, we are identifying with the wave personality here. Fragmented personality, if I can say. Go to the next one. Knowledge of the vast inner dimension makes the mind universal, free and fearless. Now see, the waves are only little on the surface. Even if they are huge waves, they are little on the surface. Whereas below that is several kilometers. It goes up to 14 kilometers it can be. Where there is no motion, nothing. Now when we identify ourselves with this next. No, next. No. There is one tray and oh, that is not there. It's not further there. Oh, then tomorrow I will show. There I have shown that in a tray, suppose it has a depth of only 2 centimeters and you have water. If you like in a laboratory we do with the tuning fork, if you generate waves on that, how large the amplitude of the wave can be, how big a single wave can be? Only 1 centimeter up, 1 centimeter down, is it not so? Beyond that it will fall off the tray. In a tray of 2 centimeter depth, the waves can be maximum 1 up and 1 down, like that. So, even if the wave is more than 1 centimeter, it is completely becoming destructive. It is completely, the whole world is whole tray water is agitated, you can say. The whole mass of water is agitated over there, is it not? Now you think of a depth of a few kilometers, say 10 kilometers, like a sea, and on which Why does the waves break when they come near the beach? Have you find huge waves there is no breaker, it is just some wind, little top will break, but they are not breakers. Huge waves will be there because of the depth. The more the depth, it can sustain more the huger wave. When it comes to lower depth, it just simply breaks off into ripples and all. So like that, when we understand the real dimension of our mind, it is not Krishna's mind or Rama's mind. Everybody has got the same mind. Only we are not trying to know that dimension. We are not trying to activate that dimension. When we know that dimension, you will find that the whole world's sorrow you can carry without getting affected by it. Whole world's sorrow you can carry without getting affected by it. Does it mean anything to you? Okay. So, shall we stop or anything else?
Can you guys hear me at the back? I may not use the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Swamiji, for that wonderful sublimating lecture today. And what I like about Dr. Swamiji's lectures is that it has a rationality to it, right? And true to being a physicist, and I'm sure you guys might have all felt it too, there's a scientific undercurrent to things he talks about. And then while he brings our attention to that absolute truth, right, that is changeless, and just a witness to all the changing identity. At least for me, I'm going to have two practical takeaways from today's discourse. One is that it's not about changing our activities, but rather our mindset behind all those activities, and try to outlive our desires and perform our activities as a yajna, right? And the second one is that whenever my mind goes through a state of sadness, which it eventually will, to focus more on the observer and then not that state itself. And if you found things that Swamiji talked about interesting, I would highly encourage you to check out the book Quietude of Mind. It's what Vasishtha told Rama when he was going through a state of absolute dejection, something that I'm sure you all can relate with Rama on. So please do check that out, and while you're over there, also check out Vichara Setu. It's our ashram's monthly publication, and the e-copy is actually free. All you have to do is register for it, so you can register your email ID at the book counter. And Swamiji will be here till October 3rd. He'll be going to Ohio on the 4th. So if you want personal audience with Swamiji, feel free to fix an appointment, and to do so you can reach out to the book counter again to know the address and the time that he might be available. And as I mentioned, Swamiji will be going to Ohio on the 4th, and later on he'll be flying to California, San Jose and Irvine, I think.
Irvine first and then San Jose.
Okay, that. And if you have any friends over there, family, whom you think that, who will find these discourses helpful and satsang with Swamiji helpful, please do let them know. And that's it. And then we have Bhakti Boj, so please.
I will chant the verse and finish it.
Okay.
You have completed?
Yeah, completed. And I just want to say that you will be distributing prasada too, right, Swamiji?
There is prasada, is there? I will distribute.
Yes.
It's there.
So we will get prasada first. Thank you, Chandra. See you tomorrow.
Prabhuddham vimuktam vikaraadihinam prasannam sada nityabodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam salvarupam bhajeham sada smarami pranam Prabhuddham vimuktam vikaraadihinam prasannam sada Nityabodhasvarupam Param Nishchalam Nirgunam Sarvarupam Bhajeham Sada Smarami Pranami. Your question in Upanishad, it is there that Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate atmana vinnate viryam vidyaya vinnate amritam. Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate. That Pratibodha viditam, that means what are we trying to know? We are trying to know our Atma, the I. Can there be any experience without the I being present already? Be it dream, wakefulness, anything. First comes the I, then only comes the objective situation before it, either subtle or gross or anything. Without I, we don't have any experience at all. When we come to know this I through each and every experience, we never miss it at all. Then we become immortal. Why? Because immortality is not to be found in the objective world. Only the Atma, the consciousness which is not in the objective universe, that is the immortal. Because it never changes. It is not an object that you can see it changing. It's not like that. Pratibodha viditam matam amitatvam himnate. So normally I am seeing the microphone. Now this microphone, can we see it unless this microphone appears in my consciousness? Tell me. We will never know unless it appears in my, if I sleep off, then microphone will not appear there. So first is the consciousness, then all the small fragmented objects are appearing in that consciousness. But we miss the consciousness. Our focus is on what small thing is appearing on that. This is the tragedy of everything. Whatever small thing is rising up, immediately our focus is on that. But it is appearing on what? What is the substratum? That we are missing. So when we will know that substratum through every experience, every moment, then we come to know that we are immortal.
Swamiji, it is very easy to understand what you're saying. So how do you hold on to that thought?
By introspection. You have to take it as a sadhana. You have to constantly introspect on what you are doing, what are you feeling, everything. You can read the Shastras also, but that is only as an aid. Your mind has to be given to it so that it gets completely consolidated in your mind. So we generally say that if you are humble in intelligence, receptivity will be there. When I explain, if you are not humble, you will not be able to understand, because there will be resistance from the intelligence and ego not to accept whatever we are saying. If the intelligence is humble, you will be able to understand. If you have some respect, then also you will be able to understand. But that understanding, whatever we have understood with the buddhi, that we have to hold on, that is called dhriti, retentivity. That dhriti I cannot give you, receptivity I can give you by explaining things in terms of the buddhi so that it becomes graspable to you, that I can do. But the dhriti has to come from your own sadhana. That is, how much time you spend on this truth, how much time you spend on reading the Shastras or pondering over the truth, how much time you spend in satsang with the knowers or those who represent the truth. It will depend on that. The more you are in satsang, the dhriti will grow. Is it clear?